We are wrapping the year with a very special episode where we are sitting with one of the most influential women in the world of fashion and psychology. Meet Dr. Dawn Karen, founder of the fashion psychology field. She's an author and fashion psychologist based in New York and the woman who has coined the term dopamine dressing. She made history as the first black professor in the FIT New York. Her book, Dress Your First Life, has been published internationally and has been one of the best commercial sellers on Amazon. Often referred to as the New York's dress doctor and the Guardian's wardrobe whisperer, she has contributed to major networks and publications in over 70 countries, including Vogue, Vanity Fair, and Good Morning America. It's an honor to speak with someone who has transformed the global conversation around fashion and mental health. The episode also holds a special place in my heart as dopamine dressing has been an important part of my healing journey through one of the most challenging phases of my health journey. And today, I have the privilege to learn from the lady who has been my virtual mentor for years. In this episode, be ready to discover how fashion can be your daily dose of well-being with Dr. Dawn Karen. Namaste and hello to everyone. Welcome to India's first and only podcast dedicated to image, presence, and style psychology. I'm your host, Ruchi Raj, a fashion technologist turned image coach and founder of Poised Presence. In this space, we don't just talk fashion, we explore identity, first impression, and the art of intentional dressing, and bring learnings from experts all around the globe. So I have this one question. What if clothes could do more than cover us? What if they could heal us? And in today's episode on Poised Presence, we explore that idea with the woman who coined dopamine dressing and founded the field of fashion psychology. I'm honored and beyond humbled to welcome a visionary who has reshaped the way the world sees fashion and psychology, Dr. Dawn Karen. Recognized as the mother of fashion psychology field and the founder of Fashion Psychology Institute, she's also the woman who coined the term dopamine dressing, a concept that has gone on to spark global trends like dopamine decor and dopamine beauty. A graduate of Columbia University, Dr. Dawn Karen made history as the first black psychology professor and one of the youngest at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Her groundbreaking book, Dress Your Best Life, has been published in 5 languages with 6 covers and continues to inspire leaders worldwide, proving that style is more than vanity. It's a tool for empowerment, healing, and self-expression. Her thought leadership has taken her to global stages from TEDx and the United Nations to the CAI Security Forum, where she continues to educate, influence thousands across cultures and continents. It is such a privilege to have her here with us today. So without further ado, let's talk dopamine dressing with Dr. Dawn Karen. So Dr. Dawn, the first question to you. You are known as the pioneer of fashion psychology and the creator of dopamine dressing. Could you share a little bit about your journey? What inspired you to connect psychology and fashion, which is such a unique concept?
Yes. Ruchi, thank you for having me. Namaste, everyone. How I started fashion psychology. So I'll probably give you a little bit more information than I would normally give for an interview, just because I'm at a different chapter in my life, so I can sort of spill more of the tea, if you will. So,
It's my pleasure.
yes. So I created the fashion psychology field while attending university, specifically Columbia University. So there I was studying mental health counseling. So to be a traditional therapist, psychologist, and I unfortunately experienced some kind of relationship violence. And I remember, like, they'll when you experiencing, I'm saying, when most people experience something traumatic, they'll say, you got to go to therapy, you got to work on this. And Ruchi, to be completely honest with you, I was staring at the therapist like, what am I doing here? I do not feel like talking about this. Like, ruminating over what has happened. It's just, it didn't feel like it was healing for me. Also, Ruchi, I'm sure you can empathize. I have immigrant parents. And so, the thought of telling someone or the thought of airing out your dirty laundry to a stranger, aka your therapist, it's actually not considered good in most immigrant communities, and particularly mine. My father is from Jamaica, so I was just kind of like, oh, I don't want to my mother's also African American, and so while I was speaking with the therapist, I'm telling her all of my business, and it just didn't feel culturally appropriate, I will say, at the time. And I'll just tell you individually, I was just over it. Like, I was like, there has to be another way for me to find healing. And I actually, because I was working in the fashion industry at night, as a model, I worked as a jewelry designer. I was like, I wonder if I could use fashion to heal myself. And that's how it began. So something traumatic actually really motivated me, instead of like going inward and blaming myself and woe is me. I actually decided to transmute that pain, that depression, into creating what is now known as the fashion psychology field. I will also say that I had a lot of trials and tribulations in creating this field. I've had people gaslight me, and say that, hey, you didn't create this. And, I had to be like
Wow.
very strong mentally to be able to advocate for myself and say, no, I know I created this. I remember the landscape of the fashion industry as well as the psychology field when these were two separate entities. No one was merging them together, and no one merged them in a. And I'm not saying that no one has ever thought about the psychology of dress. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is merging it, owning the intellectual property, and then bringing it to the masses, which are the students, and teaching it, and then creating a way for you to get paid from this. And just making it accessible. So I've been in the courts in the United Kingdom. I've been in the courts in the United States defending my intellectual property. And I will say being on your podcast feels like um, a full circle moment, a full circle moment. I know we've spoken about this just briefly. It really feels like a full circle moment. Your podcast feels like a much like I made it. I made it through the trenches. So I had to make it through the trenches in my personal life, creating this field, and then I had to make it through the trenches in my professional life with guarding the field. And so to be here on your podcast today, it feels like a victory. So I just want to thank you for having me on, because I people ask me these questions a lot, but to be asked this question in this chapter in my life, after I have um, defeated the figurative monsters, let's just say that,
Yes.
the figurative monsters. I don't want to call out any names or any institutions, but I've really had to deal with a lot of people claiming that they created this field, people who have published books, and I really had to defend myself. So
Wow.
just as a woman of color, I just want to thank you for allowing me to have a victory lap. So thank you.
Oh my God, this is something. First of all, thank you so much for sharing this journey and this story. I think it I think, one thing that I believe in is that when you have that intent, the world aligns it that way to get that intent connected with the right person. And,
Yes.
that intent is there. You won't believe. 3 years back, I was going through some health challenges, a major health challenge. And one day I just stepped into doctor's place in full dress. And you know what he said? The doctor doesn't look like a patient. So the patient doesn't look like a patient. And, that was the anchor moment, and that's when I stepped into your philosophy of dopamine dressing
Oh.
and the entire, I started reading about it, what it is about clothes that can
Mhm.
change the entire perspective. And it's three
Yes.
years back, and since then,
Mhm.
that pain connected me to this science. And
Wow.
i have I've been a fashion professional for almost 10 years now,
Okay, okay.
but never connected fashion this emotionally. And I would say
Mhm.
thank you so much for
Oh,
giving this gift to the world, I would say,
wow.
Dr. Dawn, because
Thank you.
this is a gift to humankind that you have given.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
the gift to all all the people maybe going through sufferings or not
Mhm.
going through sufferings,
Mhm.
but we all need that, that feeling of self empowerment that we can all have in our wardrobes and
Yes.
in ourselves. So I would
Yes.
say thanks for fighting it all, and thanks
Oh,
for being in that, that shoe where you had to go through so much, but still coming out with something that can leave a legacy in the world and that can
yes.
actually be a medicine in the world.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the, I think the entire coming generation, and this is going to take another leap, of course, because now
Yes.
people are becoming more and more aware. And and that is why I was talking about that this episode is something which I'm gonna, get a big uh, announcement to, because,
Yes.
here people
Mhm.
need to know about it. It's
Yes.
so
Yes.
important that
Yes.
you don't consider it as vanity. So
Mhm.
I feel you when you say that, how trauma
Mhm.
connected you to this, and you have actually given it. But being a follower, I would say it is a very big empowerment tool.
Wow.
So
Wow. Thank you. I'm thanking you, and I'm saying you're welcome, but I'm also just thanking you just for having the courage and having the strength, the mental strength. When you go through something like a physical trauma and it can impact you mentally, it can be very difficult. So I just want to, I'm glad that you actually utilized, the fashion psychology field to pull you from a place of dis-ease to a place of healing. It's really, really beautiful to see, and even just to know that I had an impact. That means while I was fighting through, it was not in vain. I remember some very, very dark moments like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Creator, universe, why did you give me this gift if you're going to bring all of this more trauma and drama into my life when all I want to do is just help humanity? And I realized, and this is just me being very optimistic and me just being spiritual, that when you have a calling and you have a purpose, there will be people
yes,
that will come and make you prove that your purpose,
yes,
unfortunately. But I will say I'm stronger than ever. And I will say it's because of this field. So I'm just happy that it's able to impact you. And I know that I was doing it. Hey, if the older generations didn't get it, the younger ones will. And so thank you for saying
definitely.
the legacy part.
No, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And honestly, that is what got me touched really when you were speaking. I totally forgot the flow of the episode, honestly, because, it just made me go into that thinking mode that, to give something like, something really worth legacy, how much
Mhm.
pain, how much struggle, and how much
Mm,
behind the scene goes to the person who is
right,
doing it. So
right.
the whole point is that I would say, there are blessings that you're getting from round the globe, and round the
Yes,
globe you will be
yes,
getting. So that is
yes.
how it's a ripple.
Yes,
So
I will say, and I'll say this here, and I've never said this on any interview. the amount of pain that I've endured is equal to the amount of, let's say, where the field is now. So, where the field is now globally, equally, I've experienced as much pain and suffering behind it. So, if you can see the gravitas or the 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 magnitude of where the field is, and you mentioned my biography. Oh, she has this many books and these languages, and she's been in this and that as equal. That's, if we're talking like equanimity, like that's how much pain and suffering I have behind the scenes, and no one knows that. So I'm saying it here, saying it right now, releasing it, and freeing myself. And as I said, this podcast is truly a victory lap.
Oh my God, this means a lot. This just connects me to another level with you. I was already connected with the energy that you have, but
Yes.
I think I feel blessed, and I would say
Oh.
it's a, as I told at the start, it's a full circle for me. It's
Mhm.
something that saved me, and now talking to you on that for something that I'll give
Mhm.
to the world. And
Yes.
that's the whole purpose of this podcast, that no one
Mhm.
talks about the the science, the psychology behind the things
Yes.
that we do. So I
Mhm.
wanted to create a space where we can speak not just you should do this, you should not do this in style or fashion, but why
Mhm.
you should and how it can empower you, the
Exactly.
what goes behind. So
Mhm.
I'm literally feeling blessed, Dr. Dawn,
Oh.
because this is something that it's more like a dream come true, honestly.
Oh,
I
that's
know I
beautiful.
might sound too flattery, but
No,
it
no,
is the truth.
it's I think you're giving me flowers, a virtual flowers. So I think like I said, I've suffered many dark days. I can honestly say that. Imagine imagine birthing
Yes.
something, a baby, right? And when this baby is born, it's a unicorn. So
Yes.
I'll give an example. Um, so imagine birthing a miracle, right? A miracle
Yes.
from trauma, right? And that miracle is special. That miracle, I'm going to say the miracle has a unique feature such as red hair. So I'll just say that. So every time people look at that baby, they're seeing that red hair and they want to touch it and they want it to be theirs. And just imagine someone trying to attempt to kidnap the child from you. And you're like, this is my baby. I suffered to have this child. And so you're fighting off everyone because everyone wants your child. So I will, if I explain it that way, you could just imagine. And to the point where I'm like, all right, well, I might as well give up the child for adoption because I can't do this anymore. If you want the baby, you can take the baby. And I'm like, no, hold on. So anyway, the fashion psychology field is like my child. And I've given birth to it and given it to the world, and like, so it's a lot of pain and suffering, but like I said, you really like, to be here for me is like, okay, you made it on the other side. So yeah.
I'm really humbled you feel that way, and yes, I think I can't wait anymore to just go on into some more details, because
Yes,
this is the
yes.
golden opportunity for me. So one thing that I would love to know from you is,
Mhm,
in simple terms, what exactly is dopamine dressing according
mhm,
to you?
mhm,
Because many people think it's just about wearing bright colors, maybe bright trends, but what's your take on this? What's the message that you want to give to the world,
mhm.
where how does dopamine dressing actually influence our mood, emotions, and even confidence?
Yeah,
So,
so when you're speaking in the media, you have to give something that they can remember, so you have to talk in like very short phrases and sound bites. So as you said, people might think, dopamine dressing is just wearing bright colors, which is great. It is. But it's more than that. It's wearing textures. Even if you think about how something feels on your skin, you know, does it feel smooth? Does it feel bumpy? Does it feel cozy? So even like paying attention, not just for color, but actually texture, how something feels could actually boost that dopamine. You could wear something that feels great. Imagine someone that's deprived of, I don't know, they're going through a period of isolation, right? People sometimes go through things, they've experienced something, maybe a health issue, they've gone through a period of isolation. So it's like you don't have any companionship, so you might need a hug, so you'll reach for that sweater, you know and someone would be like, why would you wear a sweater? And it's, maybe you're in a climate where it's really hot, and it's like you're wearing it because you need a hug, right? Or if someone's feeling like, my friend told me recently she was feeling kind of depressed, and it kind of, when I was like, hey girl, you need to wear yellow. And it's like, why would you wear yellow? It's fall. Like, you don't, I mean, not to say that people don't wear yellow, but as the seasons are not warmer, people kind of stick to like darker colors. And so I realized too, she would have to step out of her comfort zone to wear something that's yellow, right? It would kind of be like out of the season here in New York. So I think, what people are missing with dopamine dressing is how something makes you feel physically, and then that translates to mentally, right? And
Mm-hmm.
dopamine dressing could look different for many people. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, I know that. I believe it's in Japan, they do the kawaii style, which they really dress up in these like elaborate, um, like these just elaborate fashions. But yeah, so just to stay on topic, but depending on where you are in the world, dopamine dressing might look different. Depending on your age group, it might look different. Depending on your comfort level, it might look different. So like I said, the number one thing that people have not realized is that it could be texture as well, how something feels, on your, and we kind of take that for granted, how something feels against your skin, but we don't walk around without any clothes in our society. So like feeling is important, So yeah.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, it's much beyond just. I think colors and textures definitely are a tool, a part of it, but
Hmm.
it's a lot more how you associate with those. I think
Yes.
that's something very important too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So let's say if someone new to this, and I know you mentioned about your journey, and you know how you took that time into a entirely different angle and then started using fashion as a form of wellness. So for someone new to this, or someone like me, who has just now realized it, what's the very first step that they can take to use clothing as a tool for happiness? What's that first kick that they can do?
Okay.
Any advice that you would have for people especially willing to stepping into this?
Yeah, so just simple. Most people are on autopilot, meaning they're just going through life, and they only begin to question like how they feel when life causes them to stop. So that could be a health issue, a tragic event. This is when they have these moments of like reflection. So the first thing that I would tell anyone to do is you don't have to wait until your health declines, you're having some kind of tragedy, some kind of trauma. You could actually do this every day. Constantly check in with yourself. Hey, how am I feeling? I think we only get, I'm not going to, because I was going to say we only kind of assess how we feel when we were children, but some people don't even have people to ask them how are they feeling. I mean, depending on, I'm thinking of coming from an immigrant background, feelings, what are those? Like, people are not allowed to have feelings in my Caribbean culture. Not to say that they can't have feelings, right? But it's like, God forbid that you are depressed. They'll say, depressed from what? And depending on cultures, like mental health is not even a thing, let alone really like feelings are not really a thing. Like you just, work through it, and so having the time to just simply ask yourself first off, how am I feeling? Doing a self reflection. I would say that's for starters. And then from the self reflection, how are you feeling? You then can intentionally, intentionally choose to uplift that feeling or continue that feeling. And either way is not wrong. So this is where mood enhancement dressing, aka dopamine dressing, comes in. So hey, if you're feeling depressed, you can uplift that mood and do dopamine dressing, aka, like I said, the original term was called mood enhancement dressing. I made it like in simple like terms so that whether you have a PhD or you didn't go to school at all, you know exactly what to do. So again, this was to help humanity. So I didn't want to make fashion psychology just for the elite, the people who have gone to school, college. No. If I had at that time I had a best friend who barely graduated high school because she had a teen pregnancy. So I wanted it to be like, okay, if she heard mood enhancement dressing, she would know exactly what to do. And so I didn't want to gatekeep. What I'm saying is, I didn't want to gatekeep fashion psychology and just keep it in academia. I wanted to make accessible. So, just to bring it back to the point, mood illustration dress, which was dressing to continue the mood that you're feeling. So if you were feeling depressed, it's like you actually have permission to dress depressed and whatever that is. And that allows you to sit in those feelings so that the feelings can pass. Eventually, you'll be like, okay, I'm tired of wearing these depressed clothes. Okay, I'm tired. I did it for a week straight. I want to see myself in brighter clothes. And this is a way for you, again, to be in tune with how you feel from the inside out, creating an alignment between your attitude and your attire, which creates a whole person. I feel like, I mean, I can tell you, fashion psychology is a bit of a spiritual science. Um,
Mhm.
I, I, I feel as I pioneered this, which makes it accessible, and I've made it accessible to all religions. But I think there is. I'm not going to say I think. I know there's spirituality behind it. When you're aligned with how you feel, with how you present yourself, you're tapping into the God in you or the God that governs you so you can be your whole actualized self as a human being on this planet. So, mood illustration dress and then mood enhancement dressing, those are the two terms that I would tell people to utilize and the first start off with doing a self reflection. And you'll actually see the change in you when you ask yourself, how are you feeling? Like you're actually honoring yourself. You're honoring yourself instead of just, ignoring yourself. Oh, I don't, okay, I feel angry. Oh, I'm just going to dismiss it. No, you're honoring yourself by acknowledging it.
Wow, that's huge, Dr. Dawn. I think especially the point that you mentioned that okay, it's fine to feel low and just wear it and just let it go, feel it. I
Hmm.
think that's such because we always say this that let your emotions get absorbed and flow, but
Hmm.
we can do that even with our the things that we wear, the dressing,
Hmm.
because I think normally what happens is what if someone is not dressed into something very low, people will come and they'll be like, you know what, just wear this,
Hmm.
why are you wearing so dark clothes and
Hmm.
whatnot. But
Right.
it's so important to even acknowledge and honor that and be in that zone so that you can absorb it, let it go, and then step
Hmm.
out of it.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful perspective. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's one of the first steps. I should say that first of all, acknowledge, absorb, and then let
Yes.
it go.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is so simplified.
Yes. Yes. I'm glad.
Yeah, and so if we talk, I think we mentioned about mood enhancement dressing and dopamine dressing.
Hmm.
So this is for personal joy, right? But
Yes.
uh, but also, so for example, how can professionals, especially,
Hmm.
use this tool of dopamine dressing not just for personal joy, but also to show off powerfully at work? Because
Hmm.
sometimes you are under some restrictions, some dress codes, some
Hmm.
do's and don'ts. So,
Hmm.
how to have that balance that makes you happy and powerful at work, especially? Any
Yes.
tips? Any? small takeaway that you
Yeah,
would like to
just a small one. I've been in the work situation where it's
share?
very
Wow.
uncomfortable and you have to fit a certain mode. And so I know this from experience. I would say you have to find something, whether it's an accessory uh, that holds some kind of psychological value to you. I in my book Dress Your Best Life, I call that focal accessory. But like if you have to wear a uniform or something, you could wear something underneath your clothes. It could be some undergarments, or even an accessory, anything that can make you feel happy. No one knows that that you're dopamine dressing underneath. um no one knows that. No one
Yes.
knows that, this this bracelet means something to you. No one knows that, right? So
Yes.
that's a
Yes.
way that you could utilize like dopamine dressing, just by using accessories or even your undergarments. And it, like I said, it can just be personally for you, but it can help you get through those work environments, those challenging work environments.
Yeah, yeah, sure. This is very handy, and so something that I call it personally is the dopamine piece. So when I when I take my sessions and I'm like, find that one piece that you really resonate the most with.
Yes.
So I call it dopamine piece, but I like
Yes.
the term that you have for it. That's the focal piece.
Yes. Yes.
So it's such a trick to the mind and the people,
Yes. It really
have it.
it really helps. I mean, it really grounds you. If you're feeling anxious, you're in a situation, like I said, in the work environment, there's a lot of power dynamics and social dynamics. So it actually grounds you, helps you to remain present and calm, and it helps you to obviously honor yourself, but also it allows you to not be easily stirred or easily shaken by your environment, because you have such a hold on your internal environment or your internal climate. So like when the winds get the blowing in your workplace, it's like you're staying steady because you have that focal accessory, or in what you call it, that dopamine piece.
Yeah, yeah, that's exact, and that's so powerful. Now, when you're saying it, I am, at the back of the mind, it's going on that how spiritually too things
Mhm.
are connected, how it's connected to your soul. So it's
Yes.
so powerful. It's like the power
Yes.
that you're having beneath, under, wherever, but it is
Mhm.
with you.
Yes.
So that is something definitely, I think, very handy and very helpful and very powerful takeaway from this.
Yes.
So yes, and I believe it's a lot connected to the soul. You very rightly mentioned, and I
Mhm.
think that just got me into this thought that
Mhm.
how sometimes we, sometimes it's more about satisfying our soul when we
Yes.
dress in a certain way,
Yes.
or just maybe the world is saying that it's not looking good, but then you knowing it why you're wearing it. It's like, for example, your mom's some older clothes of your mother.
Yes.
You just want to be wrapped in it, and that's the
Yes.
connection to the soul. So how empowering and how powerful. So it's just important to find that one piece for
That one
yourself,
piece.
one, two, or many,
Right?
whatever, but just yes, yes. So
Yes.
that's the thing, asking questions to yourself
Yes.
of how it's making you feel.
Yes. And if I
So
can add something, Ruchi, we don't have to wait or depend on the external environment, meaning others,
exactly.
to ask us. You don't have to wait for your siblings or your parents or work colleagues or your friends or your partner to ask, how are you feeling? You can ask yourself, how are you feeling first? So that you're not, a lot of people are relying on, oh, my partner or this person, they didn't ask me, and we're giving them our power, which is fine. But it's like, what happens when they're human and they're going through something and they can't be there for you because your mom is a human, your dad is a human, your siblings are humans, your partner, your friends. I had a friend that was like, if someone doesn't check on me, that means they're not my friend. I don't know who my real friends are. And it's like, girl, can you imagine?
Mm,
There are other people who are going through your other friend could be going through something at the
Yes.
same time that you're going through something, but maybe that person didn't speak up. So it's like you can have this internal power, you can take back your power by honoring yourself, by honoring the spirit, the soul in you, by checking in and not waiting for others to check in with you. You understand what I'm does that make sense?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. It's so, it makes so much of sense in here in yoga. So in India we do a lot of yoga, and
Yes.
so in that there's this concept too that says that the feeling of equanimity,
Yes.
which says that uh, be it being happy or being sad, it
Hmm.
should not be impacted by any, the external world.
Mm.
Why if someone compliments I'll be happy, and why if someone doesn't compliment I'll be unhappy?
Hmm.
So in both the situations,
Yes.
about feeling happy and about feeling sad, we should not be impacted by the extent. And that's the stage of yoga that you reach after practice, and that's what you connected. Now see how the
You see?
spiritual connection is happening,
So we're just doing
it's
it with clothes. I mean, yoga does it with the body, and and we're the body and the mind, and we're also doing it with the body, but we're not doing movement. We're doing clothes. Dressing ourselves with
yes,
clothes.
yes.
So it's very much a spiritual science. I will say that, and I can say that now, after being now that I'm in this chapter, and I will say I'm just starting my new chapter, so I'm not quite there, but I'm in it, so now I'm like, oh, I had someone that's an advisor, and they had been telling me, Dawn, this is very spiritual, and I was like, I don't know, okay, I don't, and then now I'm like, oh yeah, they were right. So when you're going pioneering something, I'm sure you can imagine, you're just doing your soul's purpose, which is just sharing your
Hmm.
gifts. And now I'm in a chapter where I can look back and like assess, like, okay, what did I do, what was I saying, oh, that's what that meant, oh, just looking at my younger self, like, wow. And
Yes.
when you're operating from a place of pure intent, you're just going, you're just really moving from the heart. And so I'm just happy, like, to just, even recently, I've been reading my book, just rereading it from, I published it like 5 years ago. So I'm rereading it like, wow, I'm reading it with fresh eyes. Like, I didn't write it, but I'm just like,
Wow.
wow. So again, I can't stress this enough. I'm actually happy to be here.
Yeah, yeah, that is so true. And I think, Dr. Dawn, the thing is, it has its own timing,
Yes.
especially the spiritual understanding and the connection. It happens
Yes.
on its own time,
Yes.
and it will happen at the right time.
Exactly. And
When,
if you can imagine, going through trauma or any physical health,
yes.
it probably wasn't that time to know that
Hmm.
at that time, because you're trying to make it through the storm. You got to get to the
Yes, yes.
rainbow, so it's like you're trying to go through the storm. The rain is pouring. Now it's hailing. Now it's all this, it could be a hurricane, a tsunami,
Yes.
anything. So now everything is peaceful. The waters are calm. There's rainbow. There's birds outside. And I'm like, oh, wow. You can see the beauty in it. So, as you said,
Yes.
it takes time, but like I said, I'm glad to be here.
I wish you all the best in this new chapter of yours,
Yes, yes.
and lots of love and all the best wishes that I can,
Yes.
send virtually from here.
Yes, thank you. I received
So,
them.
so yeah, I think after talking all about what you have done specially, and how, explaining a few bits of it, how do you see fashion contributing to mental wellness in the bigger picture in the coming days? Where do you see it in the coming future,
Oh,
according
wow.
to you?
Yeah. So, fashion psychology field, my plan is to bring it around the world. My plan is I'm currently no longer teaching at the Fashion Institute of Technology after 9.6 years. And so I did that, and I guess that was a chapter. We're just going to say it was a chapter. And so that chapter is ended. And so I am thinking about, like, what's next. I didn't go on a book tour. Obviously, my book was published in the pandemic. So I'm like, what could I do? And so my plan is actually to bring fashion psychology field around the world globally. Also, my plan is to perhaps maybe create a, how can I say? Maybe add a sibling to fashion psychology, maybe add a
Oh,
sibling.
wow.
And so I am working on the next book that will be complementary to the first child, fashion psychology. And I'm actually saying that first right here, right now. So that's what I'm working on as well. And like I said, I am hoping to perhaps maybe even travel to different colleges, different universities around the world and bring the field. So that's what I'm thinking so far. So far, and then I will tell you currently, I've been doing global news. So just think like your CNN, Fox News. There in India, you have First Post. You also have We On, I believe. Think like Al Jazeera. So think like global new BBC. Think like global news, but think about it from a fashion lens. And then
Okay.
from the fashion lens, add the psychology on it. So that's what I've been doing. Um, that's what I've been touching on, and I've been like going around the world and like doing like the latest headlines, and so I think I did something for India. I think I did a segment for India. I think in my recent like global fashion news. So I'm gearing up for that. But yeah, I want to be on the ground. I want to visit all of these places so I can meet all of the people and just bring fashion psychology, share this gift with the world, and do it, especially now that I've defeated all the bad guys. So I,
That's
so I'm like, okay, now it's time. So I'm hoping,
nice.
hoping to,
Yes.
yeah.
No, really looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna be so helpful when when you actually travel and connect and bring in,
Yes.
it's gonna add so much of more value. And I am really hoping to meet you, contribute,
Yes.
be a part, whatever I
Yes.
can do from my end to,
Yes.
I would say support this process and vision of yours
Yes.
in any way. That would be the most exciting thing and a win for
Yes.
all of those who are following you,
Yeah.
I must
Yeah.
say.
Because everyone has gone
So
through something, so it definitely would be a win.
yes. It's, I would say it's a community that you have built
Yes.
virtually, even if you're not knowing
Yes.
them, but it's a tribe that you have built
Yes.
with your influence, and it's gonna be a win for the entire tribe.
Yes. And I will.
Let's put it that way.
Yes, we can put it that way. I'll also add the Runway Healing Circle. So the Runway Healing Circle was born out of after I left the Fashion Institute of Technology. I wanted to create a healing circle and for fashion psychology, and so I began working specifically. This was a specific population of people who experience sexual violence. Okay, go with me here, from
Okay.
the hands of their parents or family members. Okay, and so I worked with them for about 9 months, and I'm like, imagine this Runway Healing Circle being opened up not for just this population, but for people who've experienced domestic violence or health challenges or work challenges or just all things that could impact the
Yeah.
mental health. So I actually launched that recently, and I wanted to be global. That someone, because in my smaller Runway Healing Circle, I had people from different parts of the world, about maybe 10 to 12, 15 people per week, and they would all meet up and talk about their lives and how they can use fashion psychology to heal themselves. And so, like I said, I'm just like imagining, we're all suffering from some kind of mental health something, right? So it'll
Definitely.
be great, like if someone could see, okay, yeah, Ruchi from India is on, Dr. Dawn Karen is on, this person's on from the Netherlands, this person on from France, this person's from the US, and they're coming together and they're healing their respective issues using fashion psychology. So the Runway Healing Circle just launched this summer. And so, yeah, that's also what's next up. And like I said, I just, the world is so divided right now. So I really,
Mhm.
the fashion psychology field and the brand itself is really a global entity. It's not just, oh, this is for because she's a black woman, it's for black people. No, it's for everyone. And so, yeah, I just really want just it's global minded. I'm really liking myself to be a global citizen, a humanitarian, a diplomat, if you will, for fashion, using fashion psychology. So yeah, I'm happy about the Runway Healing Circle.
Oh yeah, that sounds very interesting. I'm definitely gonna maybe put something here related to that. I'll research about it, look into it more
Yes.
because that looks like actually things in action,
Yes, yes,
a safe space.
yes.
So yeah, can I think I'll be needing 5 extra minutes from
Okay.
you to just wrap the rapid fire if it is okay with
Yes,
you.
it's fine.
I think it'll go past 10, past your 1 hour,
Okay,
but 5 minutes more.
that's fine.
So thank you so much. I think this is these the future that you explained and the vision that you shared that brings in a lot of new hope and that brings in a lot of new energy, I would
Yes.
say, and not to just me but to everyone who will be listening this and this will be going out to that this new energy is something that is self empowerment
Yes.
and it's very simple. It's right there in our
Yes.
wardrobes,
Yes.
in ourselves, in our
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
So it's just something I think I'm very happy that you shared this, and we are all aware that yes, things exist
Yes.
and it's global
Yes.
and it's for everyone.
Yes, it's for everyone. So I have the Runway Healing Circle, the global media platform. It's called Fashion Psychology TV. So that Fashion Psychology TV, Runway Healing Circle. Of course, I have the Fashion Psychology Institute. If people want to study, that's global, that's online. And then I just finished working for my global consultancy. So Fashion Psychology Success is the consultancy. So I did like a fashion campaign out of Germany. So yeah, I'm globally minded. If I like to, and I'm just grateful that we're online so we can connect. I can connect with you, you can connect with me, and it helps in a world that's really divided right now. That we're despite whatever country we're in, whatever's happening, war, famine, inflation, we're all humans. We're all human. So
True.
yeah.
No, but after talking to you, I really, sometimes it happens that you connect with someone and you can actually envision the intent. And
Yes.
trust me, I feel blessed that this world has you
Oh.
with such a beautiful
Thank
intent that you're
you.
having. Because every sentence that you're speaking, I could like literally see that thing how
Mm.
the one vision and the one purpose is humanity. It's
Yes.
giving back to
That is
humanity.
literally
So
if you want to know what is it? It's that is you summed it up beautiful. Just giving back to humanity, that is what fashion psychology is for.
yeah, no, I that's why I said that this episode is not just for the podcast or for the channel or for the news, but it's for a self contentment that I'm having today of you
Mm.
having this chance of talking to you. So I won't make you talk much. I know I have already done. Thank you. So we'll just wrap this
Yes.
quickly with few fun rapid fire.
Okay.
You just have to answer very
Okay.
quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So yes. One color you personally wear when you need an instant lift of your mood.
White and turquoise.
Wow.
White or turquoise.
That's that's interesting. Okay. A fashion myth you wish people would stop believing.
uh Dressing for the seasons, or dressing for the seasons,
Right.
or wearing you only can wear bright colors in hotter weather. You can wear bright colors year round,
True.
yeah, like whenever the weather, yeah.
Yes, yes. Irrespective of weather.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The one wardrobe essential that sparks joy for you.
Oh, um one wardrobe, my purse,
Your
my oh
okay.
look, my heels. I have two, my heels and my purse. Those are my two dopamine like things that like spark me, and leopard
Wow.
print. So
Oh, seen you in those. And the heels, trust
Yes.
me. I always, whenever I've seen you, I've noticed those heels.
Yes.
And it is
And I
definitely,
definitely wear
it
them
just,
on purpose, you know?
yeah, yeah. And the message is getting conveyed. So,
Thank you.
it's
Thank
just that. See, I got it.
you. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Okay. A style icon who inspires you.
I will say a woman named Josephine Baker. She was a dancer, singer, and she faced a lot of racism, and she left the U.S. and got really big in France,
Oh,
and
wow.
so she just didn't let any discrimination stop her, and so I feel like she's like a style icon in my head. But I have a lot in my head, but that's just one.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Yeah. If you had to describe dopamine piece in just one
Okay.
word, what would that be?
It an accessory that makes you happy. Yeah.
Okay. And one word,
Oh,
accessory.
one word, accessory. Yes.
Oh, wow. That explains a lot. All right. I think with this we wrapped up with the rapid fire and the questions,
Yes.
and you can feel a bit relieved that Ruchi was just making me speak more and more, but now we are
It's
done.
okay.
And okay, so thank you so much. I think it was more than an experience, it's a lifetime experience, Dr. Don. And I really wish I could see you, but
Oh,
unfortunately, I
yes,
can't.
yes.
But I wish to meet you sometime when
Yes.
I'm there in
Yes,
US.
yes.
I am. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed
Yes.
to have that alignment where I can at least meet you for some
Yes,
time whenever
yes,
I'm there.
yes, yes, yes. I look forward to it, or meet, or the fact that I could come there. Um, like I said, we have some big
Definitely.
things that are coming up. So that I'm working on behind the scenes. So I'm just really happy to make it all come into fruition.
Definitely. You have someone here personally,
Yes,
so just feel free to connect whenever.
yes,
And also, I think it's very humble and it's very generous of you to have, come here in this episode and
yes.
share all this, your personal story, everything. It just means a lot.
Oh,
Thanks again. I told you I got emotional while I was talking to you
oh,
internally,
oh.
but I feel blessed
Thank you.
that we were able.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this time was it's something that made sense to you.
Yes, definitely. I'm really, 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 really grateful. I'm really grateful.
All right. Okay. Any last note for everyone,
Okay.
for us? Anything that you would say
Yes. So
before saying goodbye?
before saying goodbye, check out Global Fashion News. It's the first of its kind, spotlighting, what's happening in fashion and how it's impacting your mental health around the world. I do 5 segments in one episode. You can check it out on YouTube, fashionpsychology.tv, if you want to type it in your browser. If you want to be a student, fashionpsychologyinstitute.com. If you want to work with me, Fashion Psychology Success. And if you just want to follow my life, you can just follow me on Instagram. I am accessible. And if you're like, hey, I'm not into any of that, you can buy my book, Dress Your Best Life. And I'm hoping to come to a country near you at some point and meet everyone in person.
Wow, thank you so much. That encapsulates everything that we need to know. So, thank you so much, and I wish you a great day ahead
Yes.
and a great week, year end ahead with a lot of celebrations, new things, and all the things that you are envisioning.
Thank you. Thank you so
So,
much, Ruchi.
yeah, thank you so much. I will be keeping you posted on all these.
Yes, yes.
Definitely. All right, thank you so much.